Did Jesus claim to be God? Jesus of Nazareth, a figure revered across faiths. To Trinitarians, he's God in the flesh. To Muslims, a prophet of extraordinary honor. To the Jewish leaders of his time, a revolutionary, one who challenged tradition and power. But did Jesus ever claim to be divine, or have centuries of interpretation, theological, political, and linguistic, shaped a message he may never have actually spoken? Today, we examine the evidence from the Bible, from the Quran, and from early historical texts to ask the bold question, was Jesus God, or was he misunderstood? Part 1, Jesus, the master of parables. Jesus didn't teach with academic statements. He spoke in parables, stories layered with meaning. Matthew 13:34 says, Jesus spoke all these things to the crowd in parables. He did not say anything to them without using a parable. Why? Because only those truly seeking would understand. Even his closest followers often missed the point. Part 3. What Jesus actually said. When asked about his nature, Jesus made several direct statements, not metaphorical ones. Mark 10:18, why do you call me good? No one is good except God alone. John 17:3, that they may know you, the only true God, and Jesus Christ, whom you have sent. Matthew 24:36. But about that day or hour, no one knows, not even the angels in heaven nor the Son, but only the Father. These are not cryptic, they're clear. Jesus, the one sent, God, the sender. Part 2.5, the Messiah, foretold in the Old Testament. Long before Jesus was born, the Old Testament foretold the coming of a Messiah, a chosen one, who would restore Israel and guide the people. Isaiah 42, Micah 5:2, and Deuteronomy 18:18. These all speak of a prophet or ruler, but never God himself coming in human form. Even in Daniel 7:13-14, the Son of Man is given authority by the Ancient of Days, clearly showing distinction, not unity in being. The Jews of Jesus' time were waiting for a Messiah, but not a divine incarnation. Jesus never corrected that expectation by saying, actually, I am God. So the question is, if the scriptures Jesus affirmed, the Torah and the prophet, never described the Messiah as divine, and Jesus never claimed divinity himself, why do later generations reinterpret the Messiah as God, if the foundation never claimed it? Should we? Part 3, misunderstood verses. Some verses are often used to support Jesus' divinity. Let's look at them in context. John 10:30, I and the Father are one. But later in John 17:21, Jesus prays that they may all be one, just as you, Father, are in me and I in you. So if being one means being divine, are the disciples divine too? In Jewish tradition, one often means unity of purpose, not sameness in essence. John 8:58, before Abraham was, I am. This is linked to God's name in Exodus, but look at Jeremiah 1:5. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. In Scripture, being known before birth does not mean being divine. It means being chosen. Part 4, the Quran's clarity. The Quran speaks of Jesus with deep honor. Surah 5:72. They have certainly disbelieved who say God is the Messiah, the son of Mary. Surah Al-Ma'idah 5:116. And beware the day when Allah will say, O Jesus, son of Mary, did you say to the people, take me and my mother as deities besides Allah? He will say, exalted are you. It was not for me to say that to which I have no right. The message is consistent. Jesus was sent, God sent him, and only God deserves Worship. Part 5. Even his disciples struggled if Jesus was divine. Why didn't his closest companions understand? Mark 8:17-18. Do you have eyes but fail to see, and ears but fail to hear? Mark 7:18. Are you so dull? Even after the resurrection, on the road to Emmaus. Luke 24:25. How foolish you are, and how slow to believe. If those who walked with him still misunderstood him, can we be certain that later councils, especially a council that utilized violence, got it right? Part 6. The Old Testament speaks Jesus worshiped the God of Abraham, the God of Moses, and that God spoke clearly. Deuteronomy 6:4. The Lord our God, the Lord is one. Isaiah 44:6. Apart from me, there is no God. Exodus 23. You shall have no other gods before me. These were not metaphors. These were commandments. Jesus prayed, he cried, he fasted, he slept, he wept, he bled, and he said, John 20:17, I am ascending to my Father and your Father, to my God and your God. John 14:28. The Father is greater than I. He never said, I am God, but he said plenty to show he wasn't. So, was Jesus God or a prophet sent to call humanity back to justice, to compassion, and to the worship of the one true God? Maybe the question isn't just who Jesus was, but why we stopped listening to what he actually said.